Hello, bonjour. This is Plume Silver. I've got a draw here, and this one, I'll have to be honest with you. I wasn't planning to do a draw for Mr. Trump. Yeah, because I just did one recently, and I said, oh, okay, I'm not going to do another one because a lot of truthers are doing it. So my intention was to do something for the coronavirus, and I had I plan to use the ring as my card to describe. I think I kind of said, okay, I'm going to energize this card. So as I was shuffling, cleared my table, I shuffled all my cards. You always have to have some kind of form of ritual that kind of, clears things, clears the space and your intentions. And so my intention was about the COVID-19. I just wanted to know a little bit more where this was going. Well, it doesn't, information when you're dealing with trying to get information through your cards. Sometimes there's messages that says things to you. So as you can see the card over there, the 17th, everybody knows what the 17 card is. The Q. Yeah, it's the Q, all right. It's the Queen of Heart also. You can see her in there. Anyway, I shuffled the whole deck, my Lenormand deck. That thing flies out. Birds, it flew out of my hand. I pay attention to these situations when they fly out. And I went, okay, what are you telling me? And then it says, well, it's all connected. So in a way, I wanted to know a little bit more about Trump because it's quite a phenomenon, an interesting, very intriguing, and stimulating phenomenon. What's going on with Trump? So, and Q is part of it. This is all about the war of information and the memes and all the things that people. I know I said it funny, memes, and my son always mocks me when I say that memes, memes, whatever. It's pretty funny. So 17, an interesting card. There's a lot of decoder that look at that number, and to me, I kind of take this as a form of a message from this card to say, well, it's telling me, look at this. It's to reach also your higher self. Look at these birds. They're very interesting, and this card represents changes, and we are in a time of changes. So I didn't want to disconnect the flow of how I'm usually get the urges of doing draw. So I went, okay, I guess I gotta do a grand tableau for our dear Mr. Trump. And he's in there, believe me, he's in there. So I had to go back to my cards that I had a couple years ago. I've been sharing with some friends. Every time that I said, okay, I'm gonna find the cards that represent Mr. Trump. And this one, the sun, number 19, COVID-19. And I just thought, what and 19 also means surrender. So I went, okay, I'm going to go back to the card that I thought really represents him in that time. And I just thought, here the child, that he was called a child. People call him like a child man, and the red scarf. I said, look at that. It's designed. It is. Okay. So anyway, in my deck, I went to see what card, when I went through the deck, what was in front and what was behind. I like to do that to say, okay, what's the energy of this card at this time that I'm looking at it? I shuffled that deck many times over the years. This one, the Queen of Sword. Look at that, truth, holding the truth, the word. The Queen of Sword. She suffers in silence. Well, that's what we're seeing with him. He's quite he's outspoken, but at the same time, he's not the voice that is out there, because we've got Biden in front right now, that puppet. They're all puppet anyway, but and he's been stabbed. This is almost like the injections, because it's all related, 19, COVID-19. I just thought, what a cool card for him. Anyway, so I wanted to show you this, but I got something even more spectacular here, because when I was doing the draw, the tarot cards, here, I'm going to bring them over here closer, because the filming is not that great with YouTube. They seem to I'm going to try to fix the quality of it because I found it really hard to read. But I can tell you with the numbers here. 7 of orbs, 7 of chalice, 3 of chalice, 5 of chalice. Lots of chalice. Look at that. Lots of chalice. It's very emotional because we're kind of really living some very deep emotion. The emotions is what's making things move right now. The 7, I'm going to show you what's so amazing about the number 7 here because it's movement. The movement, it's like the chariot, you know, number 7. 2 forces. In the Lenormand draw, you're going to see that we got the Tower in the House of Tower. I got these extra cards that are making a line here, something very strong here, very like, you know, this is vertical, this is reaching the higher self right there. You know, I'm not going to go into through the Lenormand yet because we're going to see Mr. Trump is here, is in the crossroad. Here he's like, you know, 2 ways and he's gambling. And that's going to, I'm going to be able to explain the 4 corners and all this. And then the last draw I had the Labyrinth, which is right here at the end of it. And it's going to be very interesting to show you that this is a continuation of what I was reading. And this one here also, Mr. Trump is Master of Flame. This is the King of Juan. Think about it. Look at the sun over there. And he's got the higher self here, the High Priestess. So he's very balanced, very much in touch with his intuition. Because he's a master where, to get to that level, I mean, you gotta, you know, it's just not like Joe Blow, there's gonna be a president, you know, obviously they're groomed, they're seated this way, in a way, you know. And here he's got the Adept of Chalice, which I kind of think is because he's got a bit of a temper and a big ego. His ego's really hurt here, 5 of Chalice. But he knows that this is the direction, and it's designed for him to go this way. So the 7 of Orb and the last draw I had it's because things have been dropped, and this is why we're living on a bit of a lie about maybe the elections and things that have happened. And there's a big dreamer here because there's also obviously the movement it's about a dream that it's a collective dream of this new sort of movement, this new force, this, I would say there's like the 2 factions fighting that are actually dreaming to help humanity, because it's a new humanitarian, personally I believe it's a new humanitarian kind of move. Like there's definitely something going on with him being a phenomenon that is so powerful at this time, and it's an archetype and we're all living it. Also, we all have to live through this. But okay, yeah, I always wanted to talk to you about 7 of Wands here. Okay, now this is, I had a dream last summer. I was listening to podcasts, didn't know much about this 107. 107 is I guess he could be a friend of Trump. I believe they're all connected at that level. He might be also, through rumor, one of the Kennedy. Now, I'm not going to really speculate on that. It doesn't matter to me because it's more what my cards are telling me, what my dream told me. And my dream actually said one night, after listening to those podcasts, because I'm curious, I'm kind of stimulated by the conversation, and it says, go look at the number 20. It must have been my own voice, maybe talking to myself. Go look at number 45 in the tarot. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it is this one, 7 of Wands. I said, okay, that looks like battle, you know, and we know 7 of Wands is a very unique card in a way that it's a unique way of doing. It's passionate. And if you listen to 107, there's a reason his name is that, probably, if you want to decode that. He's a very passionate fellow, and it's very, he kind of confuses you. That's why I call it unique, because a lot of people like him or dislike him. It's one or the other, you know. The mirror image of his name with 7 of Wands and 107, just, okay, it's not spelled the same way, but the pronunciation, I went, oh my God, why did I dream about this? This just kind of tells you the design of things, you know, that I just thought that, you know, it was interesting. I really wanted to share this. I've actually asked other tarot reader. I never got an answer from anyone. It doesn't matter. Obviously, the universe is saying, look at it yourself. So I just wanted to say, well, because it's a unique way. And it all, again, reminds me of the design things I noticed that are so design and interesting. So I let the cards talk to me, and this did it. You know, there's 701 of Wands and 107. To me, I think it's a representation. He also has his archetype, you know. I see it in the cards. Anyway, it's a big influence. So that's kind of interesting because we got the 7 there. And the Grand Tableau, I'm going to be on the next video explaining you the corners and the flow. And I've had these cards here that are added to this deck because it's only 36 cards that could fit on my Grand Tableau. But when you shuffle them, as you get these new cards, because they don't have their own houses, they don't have a house number. I don't have 42 and 40. So I said to myself, okay, well, I learned that you could put them in between, and that's what I do. And at the end, I end up with these 2. So I went with that. And it's just interesting. We got the bridge at the end. It's like it's a link. And you're going to see there's a woman over there. And here's our Mr. Trump, the gambler. And in the House of Men, here he's got the Clover Gambler. This is all about gambling, and this is about the election too. Like he gambled. He's a gambler. He's a person who likes to have challenges. And in this draw, you're going to see that this is who he was groomed to be and to do. And so I'm going to do the next video, and I just want to put this one together because the last draw, they sort of show you the flow, and you may want to just listen to this one first and this one after. Thank you, and to the next one after. Bye.